Welcome back to Face to Face. We're talking politics with Erin Neff and Chuck Muth, the left and the right. Meet here, where else, on Face to Face. Let's talk a little bit about Yucca Mountain, which has been a huge issue. I know you've been very interested in it. You've talked about perhaps thinking about taking benefits for Yucca Mountain. Now the Obama administration essentially has signaled that it's not going to be built. And Ms. Neff, you wrote something about this on your website about that move to cut the budget. Here's what you wrote. You wouldn't know the significance of this week's budget-gutting decisions by Obama and Reid if you look for the story buried inside the local section, but this is the state's largest political victory against the dump to date. Now, exactly what the Ty Cobb, the assemblyman who's introduced a benefits resolution, and his ignorant ilk think they're going to get in benefits. What say you, ignorant ilk?
Look, all I know is last spring an amendment was put forward by Senator James Inhofe that would have given Nevada $500 million a year in exchange for the dump. That was just the opening bid. It was an amendment.
By a senator.
Huh? By a United States senator.
In a legislative process, a senator who would prefer that the nuclear waste come here.
Sure, sure. And most of the senators would prefer that the waste come here.
There's no political will for that to come out of the Senate.
We'll see. I don't know that. I mean, why would a senator want waste building up in their state rather than sending it to a central repository?
Why not solve the problem and recycle it? Why not turn to science and create green jobs?
Where are you going to put the recycling plant? Why not put that at Yucca Mountain?
It's done on site, is my point. You retrofit these nuclear power plants wherever they are located. I mean, if other countries around
the expense of doing that? They're only talking about doing 2 reprocessing plants in the United States if they ever get to that point. But the bottom line really on Yucca Mountain is it's in the law. I mean, the United States law says that it goes to Yucca Mountain. Until they repeal that law or the president yanks the license application,
they're just afraid
it's not dead.
They're afraid of yanking it now because of lawsuits. They're going to get the nuclear industry probably
and they're already paying
it.
I mean, the U.S. taxpayers weren't being hit for Yucca Mountain. It was coming out of ratepayers.
You don't think it's dead? You're going to try to keep it alive?
No, I'm not. It's not dead. It's on life support.
Okay.
I just don't know whether or not it's worth going any further.
Let's talk a little bit about the politics surrounding this more than we already have, including specifically some things happening here. Here's something you also added about the fight over Yucca Mountain, Ms. Neff. Here's what you said. The only real question moving forward is this. When is Harry Reid going to stop the friendly tap dance with the pretty boy junior senator? A reference to John Ensign. Now, people want to step back, right and left, ideology. Hasn't it benefited the state having this close relationship between Harry Reid and John Ensign?
I don't know how many Republicans did John Ensign ever get on our side on this issue.
Forget about Yucca Mountain. What about in broader terms?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Like when you're talking in broader terms about, to hate to use a dirty word, but the pork that John Ensign's able to bring to Nevada, the earmarks that the 2 senators are able to bring to the state. The work on federal lands has been fantastic to have that working relationship.
What about the fact that John Ensign moving forward now to 2010, is going to do nothing, probably, to try to defeat Harry Reid, who may be at his most vulnerable? That's a good thing from your point of view, isn't it?
I don't know that he would do nothing.
Pretty close to nothing, don't you think?
As much as Harry Reid has shown he has done against John Ensign.
Doesn't that infuriate you that John Ensign is essentially neutered in that race?
Yes, absolutely. Now, what I understand is that what he probably will do is put some time and effort into a neutral voter registration efforts, which is fine because Republicans do need help in voter registration to get those numbers back.
They're 100,000 plus behind in the state, right?
But here's the problem with, and it's great for Nevada that they get along well together when dealing with Nevada issues. The problem is majorities get the lead in any legislative body, and as long as Harry Reid is the majority leader, you're going to get issues that are going to come forward and be passed in the Senate that you wouldn't have if we had a Republican senator or a Republican majority.
Who's going to run against him? If you had to guess, I mean, you're close to Sue Loudon, the chairwoman of the Republican Party. You write press releases for her. You're the ideological soul of the Republican Party right now. Is she going to run against Harry Reid?
I would love to see her do it. Her family has reservations about doing it.
Is she interested?
I think she probably thinks about it. As a party chief, how can she not? Because that race, if that race goes uncontested or a non-competitive candidate, that hurts Republicans up and down the ticket. Even if you don't think that you can win against Harry Reid, you need somebody in there that can give him a run for his money.
But you're worried that they're going to get anybody in there, aren't you?
I'm what?
You're very worried they're going to be able to get anybody in there, aren't you?
I don't think that right now there's. I mean, Brian Krolicki, who's been indicted. I mean, he's probably was the only announced candidate and a strong candidate. Greg Brower has got his own difficulties.
I have to cut you off. If you list all the possible candidates, we'll be here all day. We're out of time. Chuck Muth, Erin Neff,
and John
the end of the program. Well, am I going to run too?
Yeah.
Oh my God. On the next face to face, more of the issues that matter to you from people in the know. Only on Las Vegas 1.